Holy smokes, that train is going to crash into the museum. I guess I need to stop being Billy Batson because this is a job for Shazam.
Now with all of my powers and guided by the wisdom of Solomon, I'll be able to stop that train. But now who could have done this dastardly crime? Mr. Mind and the Monstrous Society of Evil? Captain Nazi and the ferocious fascist? Maybe even Black Adam.
Or maybe someone was looking to test you.
Oh, jeez. A second Captain Marvel? But I don't recognize you. Are you one of those Lieutenant Marvels?
No, I'm Shazam from another universe.
Wait, you can't be Shazam.
Because I am. Plus, you didn't transform me, you said Shazam.
Like I do.
Ha ha ha! What a weak Shazam. See, if you're really cool, you have to say it to mean it. Like this. Shazam!
It's all about the emphasis.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. You get your powers from 6 figures in your name.
You only have 6? Well, that stinks.
Wait, is your name like Shazam?
No, I count the exclamation point.
I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Especially since you're supposed to go by Captain Marvel.
Well, I'm cooler, so it's fine.
I'm pretty sure the wisdom of Solomon is telling you you're a bit of a jerk face.
Hey, the last guy who called me that got a bit of lightning. Shazam!
But wait, weren't you a boy pure of heart selected by the wizard Shazam?
To be Captain Marvel?
Nope. I was his last choice to be Shazam.
But why would you use the wizard Shazam?
His name as your hero name.
Because there's only one thing mightier than me.
Ibik? King Krull? Sabak?
No. Marvel's lawyers.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Uncle Dudley podcast.
God.
I'm your host, Jake McMahon, with my brother, Dan. Dan, how are you doing this week?
Jake, I'm fantastic. I'm going to do my best to not use any expletives in this episode to make it child-friendly for what we're going to be covering. But
Holy moly, that's going to be tough for you.
we're not alone. They're in the house.
What? What?
They're in the house. They're here.
What? Who's in the house?
Devin and Luke.
Oh. Hey guys.
Oh,
Hey.
Oh, hello.
Devin, Luke, do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I think we can, and it goes a little something like this. His name's Devin,
His name's Luke.
and together we make up
MultiversalQ.
Talk About Universes is our jam.
We also like to go and peel some yams.
Yams are different from sweet potatoes.
But that's for another time, all our haters.
Normally on the show we'll talk.
But sometimes it's more just like we squawk.
Not like a bird, that's an unfair comparison.
Unless we're the folks you want to be embarrassing.
Each episode is another world story.
If something is bloody, you can call it gory.
Gory is the name of a comic creator.
But that's for another time, all our haters.
You used that line earlier in this rap.
Well, maybe we can write better than this crap.
Hey Devin, that is taking things too far.
I know how to drive a car.
Devin, that fact really isn't even relevant.
The pachyderm is the order of an elephant.
Sometimes in the comics that we cover,
There's truths about characters we can discover.
Tony Stark,
Bad.
Galactus,
Turnt.
Johnny Storm in a dark world.
You know he's gonna get burnt.
So I guess if we sum up our thing in one go...
Multiversal Q is a weekly podcast, but we are now Multiversal Q, which is on alternating weeks where we talk about the ultimate universe a few stories at a time. We also do movie tie-in episodes that are separate from that schedule. You can check us out at multiversalq.com.
Yeah!
That was amazing.
Oh, hamburgers.
Well, guys, this was a great crossover, but we gotta call it quits now.
What?
Bye.
I don't have any words. I don't have... Wow.
This is why we had you go first, so you could never rebuttal. Oh.
Well,
Oh.
Oh, hamburgers, you had to pick the episode where I can't say any bad words.
Yeah.
holy moly, guys, that was great.
Thank you.
All right. Jake, 2 quick updates about the DC universe. Oh, gosh, golly, darn.
Willikers.
So, Justice League versus Fatal 5 is out digitally on the 30th. They had some, big DC Universe event that we didn't get invited to. It's cool. It's fine. We're just the ones out here trying to make everyone love DC Comics.
That's
fine, guys.
We're the only ones who, are talking about this that are not being paid,
That's fine.
Wait, you're supposed to make people love the comics?
Yeah, isn't that what you guys do?
Devin, I think we made a mistake.
I agree.
We can put you back through the portal if you want.
No, we signed up to do this episode, and we still have to have you guys come on for ours, so...
Oh, we'll make those people hate that one then.
We
It
can
won't
do
be
that.
hard.
And
We do a lot of the groundwork.
I was going to say, tomorrow, Detective Comics 1000 comes out. 80 Years of Batman. We covered Action Comics 1000 a couple episodes ago. And this one has already been requested to do on the show by He Who Cannot Be Named. And today, we are doing another movie cover episode to prep you for Shazam.
Is there going to be a lightning bolt strike in there?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, there was in the last episode. I'm just going to make this
Nice.
one really hard for Mike to do.
Why?
Mike,
Because we're going to say
thanks for doing
Shazam?
Hey, Mike, thanks for doing this completely for free, but now we have 4 people on the audio, and I'm going to need you to throw in everything.
Frankenstein!
All right, so Shazam. Who wants to cover a little background? Well, what is your background with the characters? I guess we'll start with our guests.
Devin, you can go first, because you probably have far less.
True. I first knew about the character Shazam from the Shazam, the Monster Society of Evil comic written by acclaimed Bone creator Jeff Smith. And then he was also a character that I played as when my roommate had DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That existed.
It was such a weird...
Yeah.
I guess I'll jump in second because I personally have never liked Captain Marvel / Shazam ever. Well, it comes from a personal bias. Growing up, I always just assumed they threw him into things when they didn't want to put Aquaman in, despite finding out later in life from Jake that he is one of the most popular superheroes ever.
Yeah.
Now I know. But now I kind of love Billy. He's a good kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then I guess I will go next. So I got my first full exposure from reading Shazam: The Monster Society of Evil, and then early on in Multiversal Q's days, back when we were trying to do a DC Universe every 10th episode, we ended up doing the really good 1-2 of the Multiverse Shazam, the Convergence Shazam stories. It's oh, hey, this character is really interesting. I should read. But I also have seen that Superman, Shazam, animated movie a few times, which is also pretty good.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm last. Oh God. Most of mine comes from cartoons like Young Justice and the episodes of Batman Brave and the Bold. I read a few comics from it with him, mainly like Justice Society comics, but he was really never like something I was like going out of my way for. But after reading these two stories, well, that's gonna change because it's actually really good, especially the current series.
Yeah, I gotta pick that up.
It is. I figure we'll probably get to it. It is interesting that it's like 3 years later that they're finally following up on a lot of the stuff. Because they've pushed this story a lot. Like, I got the 58th anniversary or whatever collection of Shazam that DC put out, and they end with with an issue from the Jeff Johns arc, and then it's like, wait, why isn't there more? And apparently he just got caught up with events after this.
But you said 50th?
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah.
From when they bought the character?
Let me open up that collection.
He's... Huh. Because, I mean, he's been around a lot longer than 50 years. I'm confused. I don't know.
Comics are confusing.
So that brings us to the legal battle over the name Captain Marvel.
There's lots of legal battles.
Sorry, it was the 75th anniversary of Shazam.
Okay, because that makes more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So between Luke and Jake, can you give us a little TLDR of...
There's a few legal battles involving him.
Mm-hmm. But it all mostly falls over Shazam being super popular.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Oh, okay, you're also talking about the British stuff.
Yeah, the Superman... The one over the serial that DC filed against Fawcett, that's what I'm bringing up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of it does come down, though, to... Shazam came out and was more popular than Superman even, and so DC got really jealous. And do you know how popular it is?
How popular, Luke?
Thank you, Devin. It's referenced in the musical The Music Man in the song Trouble, because they mentioned Captain Billy's Whiz Bang as a specific book that is corrupting the youth. The aforementioned Captain Billy is Billy Batson.
Holy moly.
Taking away your ability to curse is the best thing ever.
I love that music. Like, I love that song from that musical. Mm-hmm. And now I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like a reference. But now I get it. Now I'm enlightened. Now I've been shown the living lightning. And
now River City's got to have a boys band. And I mean, it needs one today.
Oh no, they couldn't go into another musical number?
No.
Yeah, so how does Marvel have the name and DC has the character?
Well, I mean, during the 50s, superheroes kind of fell out of popularity. Really only a few characters like Batman and Superman and anything pretty much written by Gardner Fox were the only things being written and being consumed until, all of the rise of Stan Lee. And so the name Captain Marvel got tossed around to a few different companies because after Fawcett stopped making like comics, they would eventually license out the character to DC before they've officially bought him. But so when Marvel started actually doing things, there was no Captain Marvel comic coming out. And what's the name battle is really over the trademark, not over usage of the name. So Marvel really just wanted the trademark. So they bought it as soon as it was free from some random company that was making the weirdest Captain Marvel that you can think of, he kind of like launched his limbs off. It's a whole thing.
Like rockets?
Not even. No, they're just like popped off.
Like arms fall off boy.
Basically.
So, now Marvel has the character Captain Marvel and DC has Shazam.
Yeah, but that was because, well, they could use the name Captain Marvel as we can see in pages, but they couldn't label anything as that. And it really wasn't just like the comics that were the reason for the name shift. It was had a lot to do with the toys because they couldn't label him as Captain Marvel.
Ah, got it.
So you might have had to have done like a toy line where it was the power of Shazam, which it's like, why am I getting this character who doesn't have a name?
Yeah, it was just Shazam on everything. Mary, Shazam, Shazam number 3, Shazam Jr., all that.
Hoppy the Shazam bunny. Well, and then do you also want to mention what happened in England?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what happened was the comics were really popular, but when they stopped producing them, there was still demand for them over in the UK, and so they produced their own Marvel comics, but when the loot happened, they ended up rebranding the character as Mirror Man. That's eventually where you get the Marvel Prestige, Alan Moore, and sad people Miracle Man series.
Yeah.
It's just like Mexican Spider-Man, except different.
That was a really cool thing to find out, but that's the other team. We don't talk about that.
We talk about that over on both of the other podcasts that we do. Revan.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. We have 2 different stories today. We have the new 52 Shazam, and we have Superman Shazam First Thunder. So, for the creative team for the new 52 Shazam, we have Jeff Johns. We are an official Jeff Johns podcast, TM. Pencils by Gary Frank, inks by Frank again, colorist Brad Anderson, and letterer Nick J. Napolitano.
I can't wait to sue Jeff Johns for his name.
We gotcha.
We probably say his name a lot more than he does.
You think? Never mind.
I mean, how often
Jeff
do you say your own
Johns,
name?
right? Jeff Johns smash.
Jeff Johns wrote comic.
Well,
Bye.
and also, are you going to mention how it was a backup feature initially in the Justice League series?
Yes, this is from the pages of Justice League from the new 52 line.
Yeah, so it was just like a backup story that spans a bunch of issues. It was collected later on as the New 52 Shazam Volume 1. But for being a backup, it's real good because I don't remember those Justice Leagues after the initial run and the Throne of Atlantis being all that spectacular. But this is a fine piece of literature.
I only remember, because I remember War Rocket Ajax, so Let's Be Friends covering, but weren't those pretty much like, oh, here's a new hero, he's going to punch a member of the Justice League in the face to establish dominance, but then on the next one he'll turn around, but then there's going to be another hero punching them in the face.
Everyone is asserting dominance. So, let's get into the summary of the story. I have left a few things out just because it looks like the movie is highly influenced by this story. If you guys want to throw things in, feel free. Our story starts with Dr. Savannah tracking the sightings and rumors of a Shazam and the story of Black Adam. He wants magic to help his family for some reason. We cut to Billy Batson, an orphan who is about to be put into a foster home after being kicked out of numerous others for bad behavior. Billy has nothing left of his parents other than a photo of them at the zoo. The foster home is full of other children like him who are much more warm and welcoming, but Billy wants to separate himself entirely and just cut them off.
It is also kind of important that Billy Batson is established as kind of a jerk here.
Mm-hmm. He's not lovable yet.
No.
No.
He is not a good boy.
At the school, two bullies are picking on his foster siblings, but Billy steps in and knocks him out. And he's brought to the principal's office. His foster parents find out that he has a very troubled past, and he's the only one getting in trouble for getting into this. But everybody agrees that he needs this new chance. And elsewhere, Dr. Savannah, who here is pretty hunky, like it's a hunky boy.
Ooh.
He's thick.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's swole.
Oh, he's swole.
Dr. Swolvana.
He hits the gym on the reg. It's like, this is going to help me get magic.
Hey, a pair of abs are magic.
You're right. I feel so foolish now.
He unearths a tomb in Baghdad that gives him the ability to see magic.
And so Billy runs away, but his foster sibling Freddie, who is like the kind of like the Nelson Muntz of the school in the sense that he is able to like sell everyone any answers, fake any passes. If there's something that you need at the school, he has it. He follows Billy and finds him at the zoo talking to Tawny. Tawny is a tiger that was in the photo of his parents and him at the zoo, and he believes that Tawny is the only family he has left and the only memory that he still has left of his parents. Savannah searches further and unearths Black Adam, the evil that the wizard sealed away long ago until a new champion can be found to face him. Billy ends up then at the Rock of Eternity, where the wizard Shazam has been searching for his new champion. He sees the embers of good in Billy and gives him the power to become Shazam. Freddy and Shazam go around Philly, stopping crime and genuinely having just like a really great time with the powers. That fun is brought to a halt as Black Adam finds Shazam and wants to fight to take the living lightning magic inside of him. After a quick fight, Billy realizes that this guy is no joke, and he turns back into a kid and runs.
And Black Adam just wreaks havoc throughout the city of Philadelphia as he looks to draw out Shazam, who's just is just in total hiding. And at the zoo, where all his foster siblings have found him, and they try to tell him and help him figure everything out. Francesca, who's a magic woman who lives in reflective surfaces, tells Billy the true story of Black Adam and how he was a kid too. But that's not right. He didn't watch the whole story because he jumped the gun like kids do. Black Adam's about to take all the magic from Bill before Billy accepts his new family and uses his magic to turning them into something to help.
You could say it.
Yeah, he turns them into the Shazam family, giving them all the powers of Shazam by dividing his own magic up.
The Shazamily?
God, why don't they call it that? They help fight Adam, but Billy sends them to help other people who are getting attacked by the 7 deadly sins, and that were released by Adam and Savannah. Billy tricks Adam into transforming into his mortal form by telling him he's as bad as the people he fought in his time. The switch kills Adam by making him age into oblivion. And then Billy celebrates Christmas with his new family, and Dr. Savannah stumbles onto another villain who can help him.
I don't like Billy being a jerk here, but there's some stuff that I thought was interesting, because y'all all have read Flashpoint, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the whole...
No, I saw the movie.
The Captain Thunder?
Yeah, like the whole Captain Thunder thing from there was sort of adapted in a different way here, which I thought was good, but not a fan of Tawny turning into a murder tiger instead of a fancy tiger who wears suits and gets into shenanigans like he's Jimmy Olsen except a tiger.
That's the most accurate way you can say it. But Black Adam also does tell him that he did the magic wrong. So I assume if Billy does the magic correctly, that is exactly what happens to Tawny.
But it's also like the thing where you don't get that, or you haven't gotten it yet. So It's such a weird place for them to leave off on. Also, those 7 deadly sins, for whatever reason, were turned into HeroClix chases.
What?
Oh, HeroClix.
The like 7 deadly sins were all like the super hard to get fits because you could have them possess characters and give them superpowers in the game.
Oh. That sounds about right. I liked their designs a lot. I didn't think they needed to be included in the story. It was kind of like they were just there mostly.
Yeah, it was a real full house.
They really
a little bit of Spider-Man 3 at the end.
brought the thunder. Oh. Topher Grace is playing Sloth.
Oh.
Oh. I didn't say it. I whispered it. Doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Holy moly. That
We
can
have
be
seen
used
your
to cover it up.
face.
Shh. I think it is. I think it's like the one story that I read this first, so I was like, "Oh wow, this Shazam guy is pretty cool. I kind of like him."
Pretty neat.
Because I have no reference point to him being wholesome, like as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was severely confused at the end. I was like, wait, is there another book that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was texting Luke that it's like they really set up with that villain coming in at the end there. Is that going to be followed up on?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
You
year.
can spoil it. It's Whiplash from Iron Man 2. He shows up at the end with his bird.
It's
Luke, we
Condiment
weren't supposed to
King.
tell anybody.
They've kept him in glass in Philadelphia for the past 3 years. Help me, please let me out. They keep making me put ketchup on the cheesesteaks.
Those
Guys,
monsters.
it's actually Skeets, Booster Gold's sidekick.
Oh.
Deep cuts,
back.
people. Deep cuts.
All right, so
I like how Skeets is actually evil now and not controlled.
yeah, I don't
Wait.
love that.
Wait, is post New 52 Skeets evil?
In Batman, he is.
Yeah.
He's a part of Bane's like group of evil people. It's not like 52, where he was just.
It's not like 52,
Yeah, no.
where you get a brand new superhero coming in, and you also find out that Skeets is evil there, but that's because it's got a bug.
Yeah, he's got a little malware, so to speak.
A little mindware. Yeah, so we
Don't
have
you make that pun?
we
Don't
have
you
another
make that pun? It wasn't a good one.
Oh, look at me. I'm Supernova. Ugh.
All right, next story is Superman and Shazam, First Thunder. Writer, Judd Winnick. Artist, Joshua Middleton. Letterer, I'm going to read Jake's notes exactly, because he does this, and I'm not editing this out. Mr. Napolitano again. Hey, I regret nothing.
I do
Mr.
regret nothing.
Napolitano!
Hey.
Napolitano.
I kind of want to get him on the show because, like, he's done everything.
Yeah, and today's the first day I pronounced his name correctly,
We did it. We did
It's
it.
the fir-
and I didn't even need anyone to remind me.
It's the first day of
I'm gonna pat
Napolitano.
myself on the back.
All right, so let's get into it.
Issue number 1, A Face in the Crowd. This story takes place about a year after Batman and Superman have become heroes, but before like Flash and Wonder Woman have appeared. Superman is trying to stop a bank robbery but ends up getting attacked by a monster which kind of looks like one of the creatures that Hellboy was facing in one of the Guillermo del Toro films.
Mm-hmm.
It has him
Canon now.
pretty
It's
evenly.
it's the same monster.
But no metal hand. No metal hand.
Yeah, no metal hand.
No, he gets the middle hand in this.
This is his
But yeah,
origin story.
This is his origin.
Why is there not a Shazam Hellboy crossover?
Yeah, that would be
Because
awesome.
no one, I mean, if there's one after this podcast comes out, we better get some royalties.
Jake, they didn't even send us one of those champagne things for Detective Comics 1000.
God, that was so nice. Real crisp.
They don't care about us. Sorry. Feeling a little sad over here.
Sad Dan. Sad Dan.
Sorry to cut you off, Devin.
Oh no, don't worry. Yes, but Mr. Wink ends up attacking Superman. He beats him. They get into a pretty big fight, and right as Superman gets the upper hand, he disappears. But Shazam, on the other hand, is defending Fawcett City from giant robots, which has been sent by Dr. Sivana to destroy a solar project. Billy Batson takes off with his best friend in the sewer that he is living in. Shazam then tries to stop a museum robbery, very similar to the one that Superman fought, and then Superman arrives to help out.
Wait, there was a sewer? I thought it was the subway.
Yeah, no, listen. I'm going to tell you this right now. I wrote these on my phone. I repeatedly refer to the solar project as Solar Project. It may have had a name. I did not care enough to go back to figure out the name of it.
No, Solar Project was about right.
All right, cool. It tracks. It's all matters.
I'm just going to call it Mr. Eclipso's day in court. But anyway, Dr. Sivana meets with Lex Luthor to hatch a plan to find out who Shazam is. Elsewhere, Shazam and Superman team up against some goo boys, and then Billy geeks out over the fact that he's teamed up with Superman, and then they go bond on Mount Everest. But they don't reveal, they get dangerously close to revealing who they are, but Superman's like, nah, gotta keep it separate.
One of
Go ahead.
Interjecting, one of the things that I liked is Judd Winnick made a point of being like, hey, you know it'd be awesome if there was a superhero crossover where they didn't immediately fight, which feels right for these two boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I always prefer it when one geeks out over the more popular one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing that kind of stuff in the universe, like some heroes looking up to other heroes, just because I feel like I don't see a ton of that, especially in like the modern day. But like, if I was like a new superhero, hell yeah! Oh, I did it twice.
Would you?
I'll
You can still say that on a TV PG show.
Oh, I can. Cool.
Yeah. Or you just say Hellboy, yeah.
Oh yeah, Hellboy, yeah.
Unless
babies.
we want to record a separate Holy Moly and then have the Mike put that on over anything.
I think
I feel like he'd quit doing this for us.
Yeah, we just push him over the edge.
Frankenstein.
He told me at one point he's going to start hiding stuff in our podcasts because Jake and I don't really do it on proof listening just because we hate the sound of our own voices. So
Yeah.
he absolutely could have done it already and neither of us would know.
Well, I'll let you know. Devin has been unaware of all the edits I've made for the past several years of doing MultiversalQ.
It's true. I refuse to listen to any of our episodes.
Yeah.
Same. I was on another show recently and I still haven't listened to it because I am afraid of my own voice. Because like, what if I hear it and I like go back to my dimension?
It's just like, wait, that's what I sound like? I've
But
only
what
listened
if
to
you
one.
find it
I've
turn
only
on?
listened to one episode of ours, and it was the Nightwing one. And I'm gonna have to correct something at the end of this episode because I made an oopsie.
All right, let's get back into the.
But yeah, it turns out the bank robberies are connected, and they're gonna summon Sabak. And we also find out the scientist Billy saved and helped was actually Eclipso.
Do we want to give a brief summary of who Sabak and Eclipso are?
I'm going to do that in my section because I got notes on it.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thank
Luke,
you, Luke.
Yeah.
take it
Thank
away.
you, Luke.
Okay, so Lex Luthor. So Luthor sent out Spec, who is a special person, to hunt down and find out where Billy lives. Meanwhile, this solar project where Eclipso is, he's using his black diamond to block out the sun and to take over the masses. So Eclipso, who is Dr. Bruce Gordon, which is literally they combined Bruce Wayne and Commissioner Gordon to come up with his name as an inside joke, was also the Angel of Vengeance, but God replaced him with the Spectre, and so that technically makes him DC's version of Zadkiel, and so every person who Eclipso takes over is technically a Ghost Rider by the law of transitive relativity.
So what you're telling me is the best person to play Eclipso is Nicolas Cage.
No, Nicolas Cage played Ghost Rider, but he could play a very good Eclipso.
I think what you're telling me he should be.
Wait, isn't Nicolas Cage still playing Ghost Rider?
No, Phil Coulson's Rider.
Did you not hear the rumor he's going to be in Endgame? He's just going to ride in and save everyone.
That would be beautiful.
It's like a big battle, and he just jumps over the hill on his motorcycle. He's just got his whips out. It's great. It's going to be great.
Yeah, he's got to help Ant-Man fulfill his plan to take down Thanos.
Oh, yes.
He'll go and drive the Ant Van for the Ant Plan with Ant-Man.
Well, that was a good one. Can we talk about Eclipse? I got some thoughts on Eclipso. Eclipso looks like he went into a Sephora and fell down. Like he.
And that only gets worse when the next Eclipso comes.
Yeah, he just looks like he wore this high school theater department goblin costume and then tripped in a Sephora and slammed his face into a bunch of pallets.
Eclipso is the guy who thought that it would be okay to cosplay as a drow because they now have purple skin, but then part of the way through he had someone else's Twitter post about it and decided not to go the entire way.
Oh, they're going to be that. I can't be that too, so I'm going to do it half.
Just going to put this big circle.
He looks like a Disney character that stands in Times Square and tries to get people to take pictures with him.
He's the knockoff Peter Pan.
Yeah, listen,
he's knockoff Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say that was the vibe that I got off.
Oh yeah, no, I was going off what Dan was saying, but yeah, that's more accurate.
If Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin in real life, went to Sephora and fell down.
Dan, we've been over this. We can't talk about Willem Dafoe. What if he listens to this podcast? Dan, what if he listens?
Our mega fan, Willem Dafoe, you're always welcome to come on. Sorry. I love a lot of weird, silly characters that no one likes, like Condiment King and Killer Moth, but Eclipso, you're not in the club, dude. You're out.
My favorite version of Eclipso is when Bruce Gordon tries to help technically the second Wildcat's cousin seal him away, and then he's like, turns out I've been putting all these tattoos all over my body so I can seal Eclipso in myself and keep him prisoner while I take all his powers. And then he gets weird.
The way you started that was Eclipso's uncle's cousin, his best friend, that guy who lived with him. Yeah, he did this.
Yes, that's basically the entire thing, because 90% of that JSA run is all about characters who control darkness.
All right, let's get back. Get back to the actual episode. Sorry.
So Eclipso was there, and then Sabak got summoned, and Sabak was a popular card game often played at high stakes, whose goal was to win the Sabak pot by collecting a hand with an absolute value closest to 3, but no higher. A Sabak deck comprised 76 cards, 60 distributed in 4 suits, 16 special cards, all of which had a specific value. However, the value and suit of a card could change at random in play, unless it was placed on the special interference field. And then it goes contents, cards, gameplay, variants, history, behind the scene, appearances, non-canon appearances, sources, notes, and references. The important thing is Sabak is the game that Honolo played and cheated to get the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian.
Silly Luke, that Sabak has 2 B's in it.
Oh, okay. Then Sabak...
Yeah, called out.
Okay. Then actually it has two C's in it.
Yeah, the one
Sabak,
that's just supposed to be with two B's in it.
Yeah. They stand for Satan, Am, Belial, Beelzebub, Asmodeus, and Cretes, who are all a bunch of just saints. Because where Captain Marvel and Shazam represents who he gets powers from, Sabak got a bunch of demons in his body. So, Superman goes up against Eclipso, and Shazam takes on Sabak, and because Eclipso puts his evil diamond inside the solar array, it turns a bunch of people into Eclipso-controlled people, and so he's like, hey, Superman, guess what? You're going to have to kill all these people if you want to stop me. And Superman's like, no, that's... He's like, no, that's a very, very just awful plan. Do you not know what I can do? And he ends up reversing the eclipse of the sun, and then Shazam is like, hey, Sabak, what's your name? What's your name? What's your name? If you're going to fight me, you gotta tell me what your name is. What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? And Sabak accidentally says his name, and then he falls into the water, and Captain Marvel makes sure... Well, Shazam makes sure that he can't say his name again. And then Savannah, who now knows where Billy lives in the suit/subway, sends in his mercenaries, who, when Billy's back there with his friend, they get shot at. We'll see what happens next week on Exile. Nope, wrong show.
So, a lot of these bad guys have, like, word, like, their name is just, like, their power. Sorry, I was, like, thinking about that.
Yeah, they were all originally supposed to be, I'm looking at their Wikipedia pages, they're all supposed to be the opposites of Captain Marvel before Black Adam came in.
So...
Wait, speaking of reverse Captain Marvel, you know about Mazes, right?
What?
Mazes. Mazahs.
Who is that? Oh, wow.
Oh.
That's
It's Shazam from the evil universe.
Yeah.
So his name is spelled backwards.
I saw
Comics are all
Lex Luthor from Earth 3.
Yes, Alexander
We don't
Luthor.
talk about that on this podcast.
He was in the Lego game I played recently.
Yeah. God, that was a weird story. The more you read about those Earth 3 guys, they all have weird soft spots to the other characters.
Like on their bodies?
No, is anyone keeping up with Bendis' Superman?
Nope.
Well,
so let's
Hey, wait. When you say Superman, do you mean the guy with the spider powers who wrote for a bunch of years and then that guy died, so he replaced him with Miles Morales?
Yeah.
Because that's a Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, you're right. The one that came out of that new movie.
He just had a fetish for spiders. Issue 4. Men and Boys, Gods and Thunder. This is where all of the fun goes out the window for a hot second.
Not for a hot second, the rest of it.
Another note from Jake. This issue, where it goes from, wow, this is fun, to, oh god, go back, I don't want to feel these things, I just wanted to have fun, oh god, oh no. So Savannah sends some mercenaries into the subway to go after Billy. Billy takes on all the mercenaries, and it's a fun little bit, he's having fun with it, until he realizes that one of the mercenaries shot his friend Scott.
You say Savannah shot a boy?
Yep, Savannah killed a kid.
He shot a boy.
And
he went pew, pew, pew.
Shot a boy.
Shot a boy.
Shot a kid.
Doesn't he say, he wouldn't care? He would be fine with it?
Yeah, he was like, yeah.
I'll get over it.
His assistant was like, well, what if it turns out it's not him? He's like, well, then I killed an innocent boy.
Yeah, he sucks. So, Shazam takes Scott to the hospital, and there's nothing he can do, and it's a super rough page, made me real sad. But then Shazam storms a police station to interrogate one of the mercenaries to find out who hired him, and he, bashes through the door, slams the table, he's no jokes, no hold bars, rage.
So he finds out it was Sivana. He shows up at the tower Sivana has, a la very Lex Luthor, Superman-like. And then he destroys all of the windows on the floor and straight up chokes Sivana out. He's got his hand around his throat, and he doesn't kill him because he can't be like him. He's like, this isn't who I am. You don't just like, you haven't earned, like, it's rough. Just, so then the news is making it up to be like Shazam attacked this nice businessman, and Superman, Clark Kent, sees this, and Lois is showing it to him, and he's like, oh no. So Superman goes to find him and finds him on Mount Everest where they spoke. And he's like, hey, you need to come in, like all this stuff. And then Shazam turns around and he's crying. And Superman's like, wait, what? And Shazam reveals that he's really just Billy Batson, a 15-year-old boy who was imbued with the power of the wizard Shazam.
I don't think he's 15 yet.
Yeah, he might be 14 in this, right?
I think he when he first started, he was like 10.
Oh, then maybe even younger. So Superman, being the wholesome dad-like figure he is, goes to the wizard and is like, hey, you're naughty. Why did you do this to this poor kid? He wasn't ready for all this power. You shouldn't have done this. And the wizard, being that he kind of sucks, is just like, oh, I don't know, Superman. Maybe he needs some guidance. Maybe you'll forget I'm a bad person and I made this little kid a super wizard. So then Superman goes to Billy Batson and reveals who he is and sits next to him on his bed in what looks to be an abandoned house. And that's where their friendship starts.
Yeah, when a grown man comes into the place you're living and he starts unbuttoning his shirt, and you're just a 10-year-old boy who has no family, it's a little uncomfortable if it's not Superman.
There's some really weird comparisons between this and the animated that they had, where it was like as a Black Adam or whatever. Because, like, they use some of these scenes, but it also includes how Billy got his powers, and Sivana doesn't shoot a boy.
Yeah,
but they have a whole thing where, like, Clark Kent knows about Billy already because he lives in Metropolis, and the biggest thing that I have with the way that they set this up is, if Clark's parents are still alive, if Ma and Pa Kent are there, Superman's going to take him out and have him raised by his parents.
Oh, yeah, he definitely would do that. He was like, I'm going to do the Batman thing, but I'm not going to raise you. My parents are going to raise you. You're going to be my little brother.
I'm a newspaper journalist. Do you know how much money I make? I can't raise a kid. I have to eat like 500 burgers a day.
Yeah, I liked the story until that issue. Like, I loved it, and I was like, oh, wait, that's not good.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it really rips your heart out.
Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, wow, he did not get to save the boy. Thanks for that, Judd. Why are you doing this, Judd?
Yeah, Judd,
I expected
really,
him to get shot.
Yeah, Judd's
but I hadn't expected him to die.
Yeah. I was thinking halfway through, I'm like, why isn't Scott one of the new Shazam family members? And then that happened. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. Well, but also this is like a weird alt continuity thing. Yeah. Also, I thought it was really weird how Sivana here was a businessman, because normally he's just your generic mad scientist, and that works.
Yeah.
Because... except in Monster Society of Evil, where he's the director of Homeland Security, or whatever euphemism they use for that.
Yeah, he kind of just seemed like a bigger POS version of Lex Luthor. Like, he didn't have, like, the nuance or, like, a feeling behind him like Lex has. He just kind of was a monster, and it made me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So out of these two stories, which one do you think would be more essential to read? Like, what would you tell people to spend their hard-earned cash on?
Out of these two, I'd have to go with New 52 Shazam because that's what they're going to be expecting after the movie.
Mhm.
If we expanded it out, I'd probably Monster Society of Evil, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with Luke on this, the New 52 one, because Judge Shot had a boy shot, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Devin?
I would also have to go with the New 52 one because, I mean, even just from the trailers that we've seen from the Shazam movie, I mean, just like some of it was just like, oh yeah, I can see exactly where they got this from.
Yeah.
God, I just hope he doesn't shoot a boy. God, he's in it, guys. He could shoot a boy.
He could hire people to shoot up a boy.
No, he'll Shazam will throw Batman at him, he'll stop him. Batman's never let anything bad happen to any kids.
Jarro.
Batman kills babies.
You're my favorite, Robin. Sorry, I love Jarvis so much.
Yeah, no. In my mind, that wasn't a dream. He actually is Robin now. He's the second main Robin. And
I don't think Devin knows about Jarro.
I don't know what a Jarro is.
You know Starro, the starfish?
Yes.
And do you know Jars?
Yes.
It's a Starro that fits in a jar, but he's also Robin.
He thinks
he's Batman's
Batman's
son.
his dad.
He calls Batman Dad.
Interesting.
And he dreams about being Robin, but that's not really a dream anymore, because I'm saying it now. That's canon. He's the second main Robin. Tim Drake is off to the side. He's not even in the main Robin. Like he should be.
Sounds like New 52 is the essential run. We do have two questions. One from Harry, friend of the show, and one from Barry, a mod over at r/DC. Harry's question is, Shazam has a super interesting rogues gallery and supporting cast, with a variety of fun, whimsical, and colorful characters, like Dr. Savannah, Mr. Mind, and Tawny the Tiger. How do you think these characters hold up in a modern setting where books are generally darker in tone, and, depending on the book, a lot more grounded?
Well, I feel like the New 52 one kind of answered that question.
Yeah, kind of did. But the newest issue of the current series kind of gives it more way of, we can have the old school Mr. Tawny in a suit, because there's a place called the Wildlands and it's just bipedal animal people.
I think these characters are kind of nice. Like, I would honestly rather just prefer like an original style, like classic Shazam in this universe, like with lightheartedness and funny, big, bombastic bad guys like that. Just because there is enough grim, dark, and sad stuff, I'd rather just have some, wholesome fun.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me is actually starting to wonder if we're going to start getting away from the whole grim dark one. Because like even looking at like all the DC movies that have come out, all the ones that have flopped have all been the dark and grim ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the popular ones have been like that. Aquaman was popular, Wonder Woman was popular, and both those were a lot more fun.
Yeah, you have to really match the tone with the character, which they really weren't doing. Like Batman vs Superman fit Batman a little bit more than anybody else in that movie, but
They also need to like have movies to establish the core of the characters, because otherwise when they're doing these weird inversions of them, it doesn't mean anything because people just think that's normal.
Yeah.
Like we have to see that on screen for something like that. So
Everybody who wants a Superman Red Sun movie is wrong unless they're going to do it as like a DC direct film.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about it, weren't they?
They have.
So our second question. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or a dozen duck-sized Alan Moores? With magic.
Oh, with magic.
I've got an answer for that. Everyone thinks that they're such sweet little things. Ducks, 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 quack, 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 soft downy feathers and nice little wings. Ducks, ducks, quack, 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 but there's a poison I'd like to administer. You think they're cuddly, but I think they're sinister. Ducks, ducks, quack, 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 quack. Alan Moore wrote a song and performed a song as the Sinister Ducks called March of the Sinister Ducks. And
You got a lot of songs in that bag, don't you?
I've got 2 bags.
Do you also have the licensing right to that song, Luke?
Yeah.
Well, he'll just grumble over it in his castle.
Don't blame Grant Morrison.
Oh, God darn Grant Morrison.
It's me, a friend, Grant. I'm doing my own parody of the song. It's called March of the Sinister Mucks.
I think we can get away with it because Dan has shaken Grant Morrison's hand, so he's got that magic protection.
I've got a spell.
Yeah.
So we're at the end of the hour, so we're going to do the end of hour stuff. I can't read. Oh, also, after this episode goes up, I'm going to post a reading guide for Shazam / Captain Marvel that my friend Puzzle Man on the DC Discord sent over to me. It's a helpful guide on what to read for Shazam if you like the character and wanted to follow up some more storylines. So I thought that would be helpful to people who are trying to get into the character. So, Luke, Devin, where can our listeners find you?
Devin, you can go first.
Yeah, you can find me online at FredOFett, that's FredDDOFETT, and Luke, where can people find you?
So you can find both of us on the MultiversalQ podcast at MultiversalQ.com. Currently, we are doing new episodes every alternating week on MultiversalQ. The next episode, when this goes up, we are going to be covering the first 2 Ultimate Iron Man series. The first one by Orson Scott Card, and then the second one that says, "Oh no, that didn't happen. Here's what actually happened," along with some Spider-Man. You can also find both of us on the Exiled podcast, which is a actual play role-playing game, mostly in the Marvel universe, but we've expanded out into the DC universe. So if you want to see Jean Grey and Wonder Woman teaming up to kill Nazis, or Spider preventing the death of the Waynes in Gotham City and then be a teen cop, or Hellcat, but a gender-swapped version, getting into a relationship with teenage Clark Kent in Smallville. Exiled Podcast at exiledpodcast.com. As for me personally, you can find me on Twitter at @Koltreg. That's KOLTREG, where I have lots of opinions about things, and I have a chorus of people who frequently tell me that I'm wrong. I also have another actual playcast that you can find at rpgpals.club.
Luke does it all.
And he sings.
I'll put our stuff next. I'll give Jake the normal time where people would say where their social media is at, but Jake doesn't do that stuff, so I'll let him do something he wants to do.
Okay. So I gotta do a little corrections corner, because during our Nightwing episode, I said that his ponytail was shot off by a bullet. That's not right. It's just a poorly drawn knife slash, but it's more absurd than just a bullet, because he's on a truck fighting a man in a fox mask who goes by Renard, because that is a English folktale of a fox named Renard. And Renard is trying to cut Nightwing, but he just hits his ponytail and it just falls off. And Nightwing's like, oh, well. But they're all fighting over a refrigerator that has a woman's frozen eggs in them.
What?
Yeah, I told you it's more absurd. That's why I wanted to do it.
Who wrote that story?
Chuck Dixon.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Chuck.
Yeah. The man who wrote basically every like half of the Batman line.
So you can find Jake and I at DC Super Sons on the Twitter, at our website at supersonspod.com. You can find me at Dan the McMahon on Twitter. Usually I'm just shitposting. Oh,
holy moly, Dan.
I'm Chris posting. That's I only did, how many was it? What's the counter? 3 or 4?
Too many.
69.
This is supposed to be a wholesome podcast.
It was
wholesome.
Jake, nothing you or I has ever done is wholesome.
Dan, we're playing pretend here.
My dad used to say, you wholesome, you lose some.
And that is where we will end.
Yep.
Thank you guys for coming on. Catch the next part of our crossover on MultiversalQ. Good night and good luck.